You do have downed trees, you have power lines, you have some road washouts.
Just 20 days until the end of hurricane season, and here we go again. Nicole making landfall as a hurricane on Florida's Atlantic coast, sweeping across the state and bringing its bluster to the Bay Area.
We had gusts like crazy. I was walking across the parking lot and I got blown back a couple feet.
Now a state still plagued with the problems of Ian must recover from another round of tropical trouble.
I was up there fixing the sandbag, but the wind was so strong that it was blowing it.
Good evening, I'm Keith Kate.
And I'm Stacy Scheibel. Thank you for joining us. Tonight we have a team of reporters across the Bay Area covering Nicole's impacts all across Florida.
We have the damage, the cleanup, and why it's even worse for some still recovering from Hurricane Ian. We're going to start with Jeff Patterson. He's right along the Anclote River where the water is rising. Jeff.
Good evening, Keith. Well, we were here before noon, and the Anclote River was actually pretty close to the banks here. About 2 hours ago, the river was actually up over part of the sidewalk. Thankfully, now it has apparently gone down, and that's good news for the homeowners around here. But Nicole did cause problems in Hudson when a tree came crashing through a roof.
See inside, though, look at the tree, how we went through.
Chris Ortiz took us inside of his home to show us the damage. He says he had just left for work when his wife called to say they had a problem.
Well, we woke up and it was like raining, a little bit of wind, and then I head to work. And me going into work, my wife just called me that she heard a boom and the thing came through the roof.
He called his landlord for help.
Leak in the roof and a tree came through, so came over to take a look. We called the fire department as well, you know, because there's kids here, so and they came, they tarped it up as best as possible.
Then they worked to clean up the damage.
We had to clear all the debris because there was still water pouring in, so we didn't want to, you know, have any more damage on the inside, so we're just taking it piece by piece, as you can see the whole disaster right there.
On Hernando Beach at Bayport, wind whipped an American flag and pushed waves up from the Gulf. The rising water is a concern along the Anclote River as heavy wind and rain hit Howard Beach. Still, Jonathan Moya wasn't exactly expecting storm damage from Nicole after getting through Hurricane Ian without problems.
I want you to really, you know, it's okay, you know, it's not that bad, you know, it's gonna do some damage, but, you know, like nothing severe like we thought Ian would. And then you get this,
So we've been keeping a pretty close eye on the Anclote River, as have many homeowners around here. And as I mentioned, thankfully, the river has gone down from its previous high from about 2 hours ago. And that's good news for people who live around here and in low-lying areas. Reporting live in Tarpon Springs, Jeff Patterson, 8 on your side.
All righty. Thank you, Jeff.
Well, Citrus County is under a local state of emergency. A major concern in that area is flooding. But with the tide going out, it has not been a problem thus far. Over at Pete's Pier and Crystal River, boats sat on the river bottom. With the tide receding, wind gusts of up to 60 miles an hour, though, did knock down some trees.
For pretty much every storm that comes through, we lift everything up, take all the coolers out, strap everything down. But the main thing is we always prepare for a lot of water.
The Citrus County Sheriff's Office says there is a potential for a storm surge later tonight. The Citrus County coast high tide is at 8:16 p.m. In Central Florida, the Orange County Sheriff's Office is attributing 2 deaths to the tropical storm. They say a man and woman came in contact with a live power wire that was in the street just south of Orlando.
Our chief meteorologist, Jeff Baradelli, is joining us to talk a little bit more about this. You've watched this thing wobble its way in, and now it's wobbling its way out. So what's the latest, Jeff?
Things are improving. That is the latest, which is great news. This came on shore exactly in the place we forecasted it would and exactly at the intensity that we forecast it would. 75-mile-an-hour winds. It moved right into the Fort Pierce, Vero Beach area, moved across northern Polk County, straight into the northern part of the Nature Coast, and now it is exiting, moving towards the Panhandle, and eventually it moves into Georgia. It's going to be weakening continually overnight tonight, and it's taking the heavy rain with it. But there are still some bands of lighter rain, and it's decently breezy still. Earlier today, we had some very strong wind gusts, but as you can see right now, since those outer bands are really thinning out, the wind gusts are nowhere near as strong as they were. Still some leftover showers from time to time overnight tonight. Look at this, Bel Air Bluffs. Wind gusts to 68 miles an hour. Some of the strongest winds in this system were concentrated in the north central part of Pinellas County, right along the coast. Clearwater Beach, that area as well. We had a gust to 63 Bartow, 62 in Feather Sound, and Winter Haven, you had a gust to about 55 miles an hour earlier today. These are the official numbers right now. Winds 45 miles an hour, but it will continue weakening as it moves over land, expected to become a depression overnight tonight, and then just dissipate as it moves north, bringing some heavy rain up north along the coast. Now, Crystal River is now dark. We're going to see another high tide cycle overnight tonight and tomorrow morning, so there could still be some flooding, and there likely is going to be some. Storm surge alerts out from the National Hurricane Center. They're saying 3 to 5 feet of surge possible. Now, I checked the high tides along some parts of the Nature Coast, places like Newport Richey, Bayport, and also Cedar Key. Your high tides between 12 a.m. and 3 a.m. So there could be some storm surge flooding as the system begins to depart. And then after that, nicer weather moves in. We'll have your forecast for the weekend in just a few minutes.
It was just really tiresome and frustrating trying to get all the changes done.
Across the country, airlines canceled more than 1,000 flights as Nicole made landfall. And in anticipation of the storm, some Florida airports actually closed down yesterday, some today.
Yeah, and Tampa International remained open for the duration, but there were a lot of flight issues, sometimes because of other airports being closed. 8 on Your Side is monitoring those issues, and our investigator, Masa Saidi, joins us live from TPA with the latest. Masa?
Hi there, Keith and Stacy. So these days traveling is always difficult, but today you're going to need to be just a little bit more patient than usual. We are seeing a lot of delays. 1 in 4 flights here are delayed. Nearly 1 in 5 are canceled, and check it out. You can see that on this departure board. Red delays, canceled. It says now at. Now at is also another way to say delayed. So warning for anyone, if you have a flight, check with your airline before you leave so you don't get stuck at the airport. As Hurricane Nicole inched closer to Florida Wednesday, airports across the state announcing closures on Twitter. Busy travel hubs like Palm Beach and Orlando International, and smaller airports like Melbourne Orlando and Orlando Sanford. The main concern, powerful gusts of wind. Workers tying down jet bridges and covering ticket counters. Tampa International stayed open, but that didn't mean it was smooth sailing.
Now I have to ride out on this 3:40 flight. So, you know, you make the best of each situation. What can I say?
New Yorker Sean Scott has a big smile on his face. You wouldn't know that his Delta flight from TPA to JFK was delayed 9 hours. You're trying to make it back home to a wedding.
Yes, I am. One of my friends is getting married, so congratulations to him.
And now you'll be there, hopefully.
Yes, I will be there, smiling, tux is in the bag.
Other travelers not just losing time, but also losing money. You took a cab from Orlando here.
Yes.
How much did that cost?
$320.
For the past 2 days, Polly Tartaro and Shay Dean have been trying to get back home to Ohio. You have little ones you're trying to get home to.
Yes, I have a 2- and a 3-year-old toddlers at home. We've been here since last Sunday for the conference, and then Wednesday morning we woke up to our flights canceled. It was just really tiresome and frustrating trying to get all the changes done.
And a live look at travelers that have just landed here at TPA, and hopefully they didn't have to deal with too many delays. We do have a little bit of good news from Orlando International. They said at 8 o'clock they're going to start to slowly reopen the airport. About 2 minutes ago, I got an email from them that they hope to be fully reopened tomorrow. Some of the smaller facilities that we mentioned in our report, they're either going to reopen tonight or tomorrow. But again, check with your airline to get the very latest information. For now, that's the very latest at TPA. I'm investigator Masa Saidi, 8 on Your Side.
Hundreds of thousands were without power this morning as Nicole swept through our state. More than 10,000 of those were in Pinellas County. Duke Energy staged hundreds of linemen at Tropicana Field to solve any issues once the winds died down. Duke says their new self-healing technology means they can restore power remotely, saving time and resources.
The self-healing technology, the upgrades we've made to the grid, they actually saved 160,000 outages during that hurricane. And at a smaller scale, they're doing the same thing in this storm.
Duke Energy said power will be restored to 90% of their customers by midnight tonight. Duke asked residents to give linemen room on the road and to be careful to avoid any downed lines on trees.
At one point today, thousands of people in Tampa were in the dark. Now most power in the area has been restored. As of this afternoon, Tropical Storm Nicole had left the city with 16 downed trees, 14 downed power lines, and 10 traffic signals out of service. No storm-related injuries were reported. Mayor Jane Castor saying that she's thankful that conditions weren't worse.
And we have been very fortunate. We know that. We haven't taken that direct hit for 100 years, but we continue to prepare and learn lessons from other areas that have suffered direct hits.
And tomorrow, the mayor expects the city will be back up and running as normal. However, city offices will be closed for Veterans Day, and some schools will be closed for Veterans Day as well. But Nicole means some Bay Area school students who thought they were going to have to go to school tomorrow, they're going to get another day off.
All right, but some counties are going back to class tomorrow. It's actually more of those than not. And some already had tomorrow off because of Veterans Day. So Jen Peñate is here to sort it all out for us.
Yeah, guys, we know it got very confusing very fast. So I made it as simple as possible. So let's take a look. Let's begin with schools that will be closed on Friday because of Veterans Day. Hillsborough County schools, of course, closed. Polk County schools also will be closed. Kids in Hernando County will get to stay home as well. And lastly, Manatee, Citrus, and Citrus counties will also be closed for Veterans Day. And I'm so sorry, kids. These schools will be open tomorrow. We start with Pinellas County. It will be open. Pasco County schools also will be in session. Sarasota County schools will also open on Friday. And it's also a yes for Hardy, Highlands, and DeSoto County. So there you have it. And we have this list posted on WFLA.com. Jennifer Peñate, 8 on your side.
Blue tarps still dot rooftops all across the Bay Area, and that's from Hurricane Ian. Some held up better than others with this tropical storm. 8 on your side's Polk County Bureau reporter Stacy DeSilva joins us live from Lakeland. Stacy?
Yes, tarps really were tested today from Nicole. Those tarps you see protecting homes from the elements after Hurricane Ian. Some stayed on really nicely. Others, well, didn't. Angel Rosado tried to secure his tarp before Tropical Storm Nicole, but the wind won.
I was up there fixing the sandbag, but the wind was so strong that it was blowing it out and out.
The tarp was protecting the house from a leaky roof dealt to him by Hurricane Ian.
Water was coming into that bathroom. It was coming into the other room.
Rosado had to throw out a wet mattress that grew moldy and take apart some electrical systems.
Water was coming down the light. And I decided to take the fan blades off because otherwise they would break the fan down, would pull it down.
Elsewhere, tarps are on Leah Matthews' roof, too, a roof that had just been installed days before Ian.
I won't name the company, but knowing that the storm was coming, they put the roof up anyways.
During Ian, shingles flew off, so Matthews anxiously awaited Tropical Storm Nicole and worried her roof would get a second blow.
Just mainly the tarp being lifted. Just from the little bit of rain that we have had between the storm of Ian until now, we do have some new water spots in our ceiling now.
Back at Rosado's house, he's hoping this is it for the season, or else.
Oh, gee. Gonna move back up north.
Just a tip, it's best to nail down those tarps, not to use sandbags, and of course never walk on a tarp, especially after a storm. They're super slippery. Tarps are designed to stay good for 90 days if they are properly installed. Reporting live in Lakeland, I'm Stacy DeSilva, 8 on your side.
Well, this hurricane season, plenty of Floridians had to deal with the hassle of filing insurance claims to deal with damage from Hurricane Ian.
Now it's time for round 2. Still ahead, 8 on your side, Shannon Bankin gets some advice for homeowners dealing with a new round of damage today.
Talk about bad timing. Tropical Storm Nicole came while many in the Tampa Bay area are still trying to rebuild from Hurricane Ian.
That means even more insurance claims. 8 on your side, Shannon Bankin joins us. She is live in Tampa. Boy, a double whammy for sure for a lot of people, Shannon.
Good evening, Keith and Stacy. Yes, the abundance of the insurance claims here is going to be on the rise. Not only that, but for homeowners who were already struggling with damage, now some have even more potential damage. It was just 45 days ago that Brenda Elise's Valrico home was ripped apart by Hurricane Ian, and her insurance claim is moving painfully slow.
They haven't fully received all of their reports yet, and at this point, they're saying that it's going to be pieced back together instead of rebuilt, fully like demolished and rebuilt.
And now a double punch. Tropical Storm Nicole brought even more rain and damage.
Do you think this storm is going to make it harder to fix the home?
Yes, absolutely. I mean, there's more moisture, there's more mold. Getting building materials is going to probably be even harder.
Knowing Tropical Storm Nicole was on the way, Brenda hired a company this week to try to secure her house by putting up tarps and plywood, but a whole section was left uncovered.
But what about this? Nothing was done to secure this.
They said that they didn't have enough time. They ran out of time.
Thousands of Floridians are still in the middle of Ian claims and now have been hit again. I went to AAA's Mark Jenkins for advice on navigating this mess.
Yeah, I think you just need to reach back out to your insurance provider, let them know, hey, this storm is here, as you know, and then let them know that you have additional damage. Just take plenty of photos. Chances are you've already got photos from your first claim, and then you go out and take additional photos and video of the additional damage.
Just like after Hurricane Ian, Jenkins warns to be wary of fraudulent contractors looking to make a quick buck and those asking you to sign away your insurance benefits to them. Now, I do have a bit of good news tonight for everybody worried about those high insurance deductibles. If you do have to file a second hurricane insurance claim, you will not have to pay a second deductible. So that's very good news for people worried about that. Live in Tampa tonight, I'm Shannon Bankin, 8 on your side.
Max Defender 8, the most advanced weather radar in Florida. Sponsored by Cool Today.
And good evening, everybody. This is Chief Meteorologist Jeff Baradelli. Tropical Storm Nicole is moving out and our weather is improving. Made landfall at 3 a.m. in the middle of the night last night around the Vero Beach, Fort Pierce area. Moved right across northern Polk County, right through the Nature Coast. This was all predicted ahead of time. It was a minimal hurricane when it made landfall, produced about 2 to 4 inches of rain across the Bay Area, just as predicted. And we had some wind gusts upwards of around 60 miles an hour. So everything worked out exactly as we thought it would. Now that the system's moving out, the rain bands are thinning out, but we do have onshore flow here. You can see it right there. That could cause some storm surge flooding, especially on the Nature Coast at times of high tides overnight tonight and tomorrow morning. How much rain did we see? Well, inland parts of Pasco County right here, up to around 3.5, 4 inches of rain. So generally that's the top end, about 4 inches of rain. Some places picking up closer to 2 inches of rain. And actually Polk County, you ended up with less because the eye of this system is so large and it moved right over you. So you ended up with getting a little bit less rain out there and actually not very, very gusty winds. The highest wind gust was in Bel Air Bluffs along the coast in Pinellas County at a wind gust to 68 miles an hour. All right, in Tampa right now, you can see these low clouds moving along at a good pace embedded within that tropical system as it moves out. It's going to be a decent night out there. You could even take a stroll. Temperature is comfortable. It is 71 degrees. Bring the umbrella, though, just because there will be a couple leftover showers. Now, the wave height forecast. Still some big waves out in the Gulf of Mexico in this onshore flow. That means we could see about 3 to 5 feet of surge overnight tonight along places like the Nature Coast and especially the Big Bend. So just be on the lookout for that. Future radar. Storm moving out. Couple of small bands moving across our area tonight. Same thing tomorrow. Everything thinning out, but there will be a leftover shower here or there and also some breaks of sun during the day tomorrow. It's going to turn out to be a pretty nice day, but it will also be a humid day out there. Right now, we're talking about temperatures in the low 70s by tomorrow afternoon, low 80s. Now, notice what happens as we head towards the weekend. Saturday is going to be nice. It will be a seasonable day. A cool front's going to move through as we head into Sunday. Could be a shower or two in the morning, and then turning much cooler as we head into Sunday night and again on Monday. So a cool change is on the way. Here's a look at your 8-day forecast now. Weekend's looking good. Warmer on Saturday, a little cooler on Sunday. In the 50s when you wake up on Monday morning, and then another cold front as we head towards next Friday. That's your weather forecast.
Thanks, Jeff. Now here's a look at what's coming up on News Nation.
GOP bigwigs want Trump gone. What happens if he won't leave? Plus, a college gymnast criticized for making money off her Instagram. Is the New York Times turned sexist? That's on Balance tonight. Here's a look at Cuomo.
Coming up tonight on the show, the midterm story the insiders don't want you to know about. Something happened on election night that changed the game. And meet the lawyer who's going after Elon Musk. She's suing Twitter. Can she win? Let's get after it tonight on News Nation.
And that's all coming up tonight on the fastest growing cable news network in America, News Nation, available on the channels you see on your screen. We'll be right back with sports.
News Channel 8 is your official Bucs station. The Bucs are on their way to Munich after getting their final workout in this morning in Tampa. On the injury front, Julio Jones was upgraded to full participation and Shaq Mason to limited. The only downgrade was Nick Leverett popping on there with an illness that kept him out of practice. Now it's a matter of seeing how travel and a 10 to 11 hour flight may impact any of these players trying to recover from injuries, and for Leverett, his illness. They'll need to be at their best health-wise and execution-wise on Sunday against a tough 6-3 Seattle team.
A good team. They're playing good ball right now. You know, complementary football, which is huge. And, you know, they got a good front seven. You know, they're down linemen down to their linebackers. You know, they play well together. So, you know, it'll be a nice little challenge for us to go out there and put on tape what we do. And, yeah, it'll be a nice, fun competition out in Germany.
Rays outfielder Kevin Kiermaier is now a free agent. The Rays announced today that they declined his club option for this coming season. KK's won 3 Gold Glove awards and 9 full seasons in the big leagues, all of them with the team that drafted him 12 years ago. His major league debut was with the Rays September of the 2013 season. So that's a big roster note. Another big roster note from the Rays that just happened. They just announced that they've traded Ji-Man Choi to the Pirates.
Oh, wow.
Yes. In return, they're getting a minor league pitcher, Jack Hartman, in return.
All right. Playing for another season, another
Making
day.
moves. Yep. That's how they have to do it, right?
Build for tomorrow.
Darn it.
Thank you,
KK. I loved KK. Well, thank you for joining us.
He's not gone yet.
No, he's allowed to sign with another team, so he's a free agent.
But he may not.
He may not.
I'm going to just cup half full, right?
Still here.
All right, thanks for joining us. Nightly News coming up next, followed by News Channel 8 at 7.
And we'll see you back here tonight for News Channel 8 at 11. Good night.